President Trump has just under 60 million Twitter followers, and he stays in regular touch with them by tweeting daily. He began his day yesterday on Twitter, using it to criticize Twitter itself, saying it doesn't treat him well, that it's, quote, playing political games and that Congress should step in. But that he ended his day with its founder and CEO, Jack Dorsey. So, did he change his mind? For some answers, we turn now to Bloomberg Businessweek columnist Max Chafkin. Welcome, Max. Good to have you here.
Hey.
So, has the president changed his view?
Well, you know, he tweeted a very sort of comparatively nice statement about Twitter, a nice picture of Jack Dorsey and Jared Kushner in the Oval Office. So it seems like he may have been charmed to some extent. I mean, I think one thing that's interesting about this story, well, two things. I mean, Twitter and Donald Trump are in some ways codependent. Yeah. Twitter has been very good to President Trump. Obviously, the Trump campaign and now during the Trump presidency, he's made a lot of use of social media, particularly Twitter. And if you're Twitter, you're kind of this sort of also-ran social network way behind Facebook. Having the world's most powerful man, make you his chosen way to get the message out is, it's a gift from God. And I know a lot of Twitter employees don't feel that way, but I think it has certainly helped the company.
Well, but to your point, in fact, as I understand, the president's complaint with Twitter is he's not getting enough of it.
Right. So Twitter has been cracking down on bots, which has been that's both a business issue and I guess to some extent a political issue, an issue of harassment, and as a result.
But it is a business issue. It's important to emphasize that because if you're an advertiser, you want to make sure there's actually somebody looking at your ad rather than some bot.
Right. And for a bunch of quarters, Twitter's earnings were really bad because they were getting rid of these bots. Investors were punishing them, sort of saying, your user numbers are going down. What Jack Dorsey said to President Trump is that he also lost followers, and I can tell you if Twitter is discriminating against U.S. presidents, they're also discriminating against magazine journals because I've lost followers. It's been a broader phenomenon, and I assume what went on in the Oval Office is Jack Dorsey trying to sort of calm the president down, tell him this is a universal thing, not specific to any political party.
But when we hear complaints from Republicans, particularly up on the Hill, as well as President Trump, it's about shadow banning. Is that getting rid of bots?
Yeah, no, that's a completely different issue. And I'd say, while Twitter will dispute that they have any political bias, the question of how these social media platforms, including Twitter, are sort of shifting the algorithm is an important one. Now, shadow banning specifically refers to the idea that Twitter would be sort of taking tweets and not showing them to people. So not deleting them, but not showing them to quite as many people, which is something that Twitter, that I don't believe Twitter says happens, but it's something that many people suspect. And there are ways in which, Twitter has these promoted tweets. It suggests people to follow. It could be sort of monkeying with the algorithm if they wanted to. And I think really the critique here is more about social media power than any particular political party.
Yeah, I wouldn't hold my breath for Congress to get involved in the algorithms of Twitter. That would be quite a venture in that black box. Okay, Bloomberg's Max Chafkin. Thanks so much for being with us, Max.